You got the DJI Pocket 2. You turn it on, you're all set to go in 2 seconds, but then what are you going to talk about? In this video, I'm going to go over some cool ways to research YouTube video ideas and more. Check it out. And these ideas are going to come from your audience, from you, and from the search engines. Combine all three and you're on fire. One of the best places, I think, to research is actually within Facebook groups. You want to research topics from real people. And then from there, you go in and look at the keywords. One of my favorite groups to go to is Full-Time RV Living. And I'm not going to go into this very much because, it's a private group. But basically, you can search the group and figure out a topic, cost of RV living. A lot of people talk about the cost of RV living, and so they'll have topics on that, questions that people might have. Being able to go in and see these group postings really makes it much easier to see what people are concerned about. You can look at questions that people are having and just really get a good idea of what people are concerned about or looking for. Starting with Facebook groups is a good way to go, or any other groups you have online. When you are starting with a topic you're already familiar with, you're already going to be in some of these groups anyway. And if you're not, it's a great thing to do, and you can learn a lot, connect with a bunch of people. It's a lot of fun. So definitely start with the Facebook groups. There's a couple of cool ways to use YouTube itself. One of them is the famous A to Z search. Now, if you haven't seen this before, it's pretty popular. And really, one of my favorite people, which I'll show you in a future video, actually recommends it over using keyword search tools. So it's stronger than you might think. But anyway, it works like this. So what we're doing is we have our phrase. This is a longer phrase, but let's go with it. So you do A, and you come up with all these different keywords and ideas. And then you do B, and you have more ideas. Boondocking, that's a big one. C, come up with a bunch more ideas. And what you can do is basically copy these down and search for them. And in a short bit, I'm going to show you VidIQ. They can kind of tell you if some of these are going to be easier to kind of like go for, so to speak. But anyway, you go from A to Z. This gives you some great ideas, and these are what people are searching. And so you use a short keyword phrase and then the A to Z search. Are like a librarian, and they want to easily identify your content, and so you're going to use the keywords to do that. You're helping the librarian find your content, otherwise it's going to remain on some bin lost somewhere. Before I go to the section that shows more on how to use VidIQ to kind of bridge the gap between your ideas, your audience, and YouTube search, if you go through the link in the description and sign up for VidIQ, you'll help support this channel, which also helps support not having third-party ads on this channel, but rather intentionally focused mentions of different programs that you and I will more likely agree with. VidIQ is one of them. You'll see right here, you can boost your video views. And I'll show you a quick tip. The way I like to use a lot of these tools is sign up for the free version if there is one. Get used to a little bit of it, and then sign up for Pro for about a month. That's when I use mainly their keyword research tool and really do all my research for a bunch of content for that month. And then if I find it's useful, then I'll continue with it. But more often than not, I end up getting all the data I need, using that, and then waiting another 6 months, and then doing another month again. In this way, I can kind of leverage my limited dollars and still get access to a lot of data that's going to actually help me align ideas from my audience, from me, and of course, YouTube search. So go ahead and click the link in the description, at least get the basic version, and I'll show you a lot of different things. Highly recommend signing up at least for a month for the Pro version. That way you get to use a lot more of the keyword research tools. That said, now let's check out VidIQ in action. Okay, so here we are, full-time RV living, right? Let's look at what VidIQ says. Ooh, volume, and that's 59. It used to be actually a little bit greener. But these change all the time, so really you have to pay attention to the changes. Down here you can see actually RV life or RV living is a little bit easier. So we can just go RV living. Now there's a bit easier. Obviously you have a score of 60, you have a volume of 66, and it's a medium competition. It'd be better if it was lower, but look at this. Cosby Grace Travels, 2.69K. That's not very many, so there is a possibility. This looks good, obviously, but you could search anything like, let's say, homeschooling. Homeschooling for beginners, how to start homeschooling, okay? You'll see the volume's not that high, but you do have some potential here. This gives you an idea, at least for these different queries. So if you did your A to Z search and then you looked and you see which ones from your A to Z search that you made before are going to have some green and be possible for a channel starting out, then this would be one way to do that. And keep track of it in a spreadsheet. And really what you're doing here is you're also taking your ideas from, your Facebook groups and kind of poking around to see, searching with their terms, let's say, and then see what kind of other related terms come up. So it's a good way to kind of gauge the competition. And the competition is changing all the time. Like these can become very competitive all of a sudden. And every once in a while when you hit an 80, go for it. So that's VidIQ. Again, there's a link in the description. It's an affiliate link, helps support the channel, and you get to get all kinds of great data from them. So we're still on YouTube, and we're going to take, and let's say we have our full-time RV living. We're going to search that. We're going to see what channels are basically really popular right now. And you can do this with any channel. You pop by, you sort by most popular. You can see what the most popular content is. And that gives you some ideas, because it may or may not still be popular now. But more often than not, if you do a couple different channels and they have a lot of the similar ideas that are popular, you know that that's probably a winner. I know this is a drive-by. There's a lot more to it. The whole idea is to keep momentum and go for it. Don't get bogged down by keywords, searching for ideas and whatnot. Just get some ideas, get your workflow going, and start creating videos. So this just gives you some ideas. There's a lot more you can do, obviously. So those are just some ways to get some good video ideas. There are so many other different ways though. This shouldn't be the only way, but really the whole idea is to really keep this simple. And so the ideas are simple, and so you can just take them and run with it. Really, although you might come up with the ideas and you have some clips and you have some research that's really solid, in the end, it's how you convey on camera. And that's where we're gonna go in the next video. I'm gonna show you a technique, basically talk on camera without having to start and stop so much. So be sure to subscribe if you aren't already. And if this video is helpful, give it a like. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.